My heart got no cover, no condom. Soul ties are what I thought we had in common. Tryna move forward, but I'm starting from the bottom. Let's talk about sex, baby, causing all these problems. From death to now, Destiny's on the high. She said, Jastin, your name is written across the sky. Follow directions, handle rejections. Then you can receive your miracles and your blessings. Like number one holding me on Reverb Nation. I birthed something and push with the purpose. Welcome to my world now. He's the master and I'm just a puppet. Now you can open the curtains.
Yo, hey world, beautiful people, what's going on? It's your boy Jastin Artis, and I'm here with Kellie B. What's up?
Hola there, world.
How you doing, Kel?
I'm good. I am a little tired, so I did drink some pre-workout, so to give me a little boost of energy. But other than that, how are you doing?
I'm well, because you got to get ready for this episode. So if you guys are joining us from the first episode of our podcast, No Condom, we are now at episode 2. So thank you for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the first go round, because it's about to go deeper in this episode about the song Tag This. So again, thank you for being here with us. Now, before we get into it, Kels, let me know what's happened in the last week in your life.
My B-day is coming up, so
Tell the people when your birthday is, so they can spot you some gifts and things.
Oh, great. November 3rd, and I will be 41 years old, although I'm told I don't look like it, so yay.
Yeah, for all those that cannot see her right now, she just gave you the baby face with the hands underneath the chin. You know what I mean? You do not look like your age. And I guess to some degree, what does that mean? I don't know.
I have no idea.
So that's what's up. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
So you have any announcements, any big things going on right now? Because last time you hit them with the 3.9 GPA. So like
I did. Kudos to me for that.
Absolutely.
I am looking to change my career field, since I do attend school for communications, and I'm looking to become a copywriter in the near future. Currently, I am a secretary, so I feel as though that's not easily, but a similar transition from career to career. From career to career. So yeah. So what about you, Mr. Jastin?
I love it. You stepping into my world of copywriting.
Yes.
Because I am a trained writer, right? So I love hearing that. So yeah, what's going on with me? Look, man, first of all, again, Tag This is out. Shout out to the radio stations that are playing the record, who played it first, the Gospel Party in New York. Shout out to them. I'm about to get ready to do my Conscious Leadership Summit talk. It's coming. I can't wait to share that. And then, girl, look, we got to keep it positive as much as we can. I got a request from Speaker Hub to be a speaker at their summit next year. Ow. And it's paid. So we just, can I get applause? Thank you in the back. Thank you. Of course, again, Tag This is out. Y'all gonna keep hearing me say this. This song means a lot to me. And lastly, for all those in the back, on the side, left and right, if you're looking for some work to do, especially if you're young and talented, I'm looking for some A&R and social media interns. Gotta put it out there. Connect with me. We'll talk more. So I think you know how it is. Life
be lifing.
Life be lifing. So to let everyone know, this episode is about the song Tag This. And I'm really, really excited to dive into this for so many reasons. Um, so this episode is about purpose and pain. Like, I think everybody's feeling it. It's kind of like uh what's that thing called? The pandemic. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody is feeling it. So I feel like this episode should relate to many, many people.
Yes.
Purpose and pain. So we know life be lifing. How do we manage? And what does it all mean? So I want to shout out artist, producer, songwriter Ryan Leslie, who inspired this song, tagged this from his song when he converted over to rapping. Um, the song Glory. And I really can't wait until y'all really dive or we dive in on the theme of this song. So yeah, just want to set that up. So before we move forward, today's hot topic.
So today's hot topic is a video we found on the good old YouTube. And it is about this gentleman who we believe might be a former like NFL player. I don't know.
Yep.
You know, he looks like that build. But he talks about how he used his pain into purpose. So I'm gonna play it real quickly for
Roll the
everyone.
tape.
Roll the tape.
If you want to find your purpose and you don't know where it's at, look in your pain.
Was that a strategy used?
That's how we get to the mental health discussion. So in 2011, I found myself at McLean Hospital, diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and I sat there for 3 months in an outpatient program. Dialectical behavior therapy, self-assessment, cognitive behavior therapy. It totally changed my life. I found my why. So that's how we got to this whole, House of Athlete thing. But it was in my pain, right? This
Sure.
thing that some people would say should break me. And I would say I thought it was going to take 20, 30 years to get to this place from a mental health community standpoint. But man, it went from a taboo topic to an everyday conversation, and I'm excited about that.
This clip was from Dr. Mike Clips, and he's on YouTube at Dr. Mike 2, and that's the number 2.
So yeah, so that is our hot topic.
Preaching.
Yes, he is preaching. So I'll give my little 2 cents of what I think about the video. And I could not agree with this gentleman, even more about what he says he did to heal from what he's dealing with, and then also to put that energy into something more positive. Because I feel like as a society, that is something we all struggle with. And especially since there is so much negative influence from social media and then the news and just in life in general. So I give kudos to him for putting in the work to make a positive change in his life. So what about you, Jastin? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like last time I'm like snapping, I'm clapping, I think this episode is gonna hit really hard for me because of the why and what I wrote. But then the first time I heard this, I instantly thought about a moment in college of depression, and it changed my life. So it's just real. I know it may sound cliche, it may, all these different things, but it's imperative. And it's imperative that you find your purpose. And I know that if it wasn't for my purpose, I would not be alive right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not being extra. I'm not woe is me or anything like that. That's a fact. Like that's what I'm living for, right? For a long time now. Like that's what I walk in. It even made me like a phrase that I want to say fell into, but just where God has moved me is like I'll die for my purpose. You know what I mean? Ain't too many people can say that. Like, and I feel like an experience that he had, especially given, he's a black male, like all the stigmas.
Yes.
And first of all, he came out of it, and now like he's having these hard conversations every day with people because we're all going through you know, something similar, right? So
Right.
it was really dope. It was really dope. So how we starting off these hard conversations today, Kelly?
So how we are starting off is, I would say, it's a very realistic question. So for you, Jastin, what is the most painful experience you've ever faced so far in life?
Yeah, you know me, so I feel like you already know where I'm gonna go or what what's coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have many.
Don't we all?
uh, it hurts a bit. So
Take your time.
2019, I lost my job and I lost my second child with my then girlfriend. And I was excited because it felt like it was going to be a new, different experience from what I've been dealing with my son Jace.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not with Jace, but things surrounding it being an alienated parent. And so it was like, this is my second chance. It was unexpected, but it was a great thing. My then girlfriend, she had lost, um, you know, uh, children prior, like a few times. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a big thing. She was high risk. Um, but it was like she did everything she had to do. Jameis was healthy. It was like, yo, I'm about to have like my second child. And then, I'm hoping that it's not twins because, I'm a twin, right? So every time, it's like, it ain't gonna be, twins, is it, right? And side note, my parents thought they were having one and then later it was two. So that was my, like hope it don't. And it just went from we saw the doctor, everything's great, mom is great, Jameis is great. A week later, something's wrong. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I gotta go down to North Carolina from the DMV in the middle of the night. And in a matter of a day, it's like I don't remember the procedure, but we were trying to keep him in the womb to cook a little longer because he was only 22 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, they
And
probably had to sew up her cervix or something.
yes, I forgot what it's called, but yeah. And it was like, all right, let him cook. We gonna wait here. Seems like it was going well. Then instantly, all of a sudden, I remember it very vividly. Like she was septic. In order to save her life, he had to be born. And
Wow.
birth is crazy. The crying is something for me is dope.
Mm-hmm.
But James didn't cry, and that was like weird. Um, but I can still smell him. He lived for an hour and a half, and so my whole challenge that's hit me pretty hard even like right now, but uh the mindset of this was like, man, Jace is 11 now,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much the last 10 years I've not been involved in his life, not because I don't want to, but because I'm not allowed to. But Jameis, I'm here for his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the most amazing thing I've ever experienced. Like I saw God work in a different way. I saw God work through these people, and um, it was amazing. But I still had to go through grief.
Right.
And shortly thereafter, now I know this, but then I woke up, couldn't move, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And apparently, that was the onset of fibromyalgia.
Wow.
So it's changed my life since then. And then, not too long after that, then we had the pandemic.
Right,
So
right.
it was, and still I have my moments where it's pretty painful. I miss it, like the moment, and then I miss what I don't have, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I make you cry, did it? Because I know you get teared up real quick.
I do. And I mean, although, I am aware of what happened, but every time, you tell me, it just breaks my heart every time because I
Yeah.
can't even imagine how you felt, let alone, your ex-girlfriend. Um, you
And
know,
shout out to moms.
yes. And, my heart definitely goes out to the both of you because I can't imagine what it feels like to lose a child. So,
Yeah. Loss is tough. So dare I ask you, what's the most painful experience for you?
mm, I mean, like you, I have many. um, but I'll keep it, on the same page as you and talk about grief. I think it's something that many people don't talk about. They shy away from.
Yeah.
They try to keep it bottled up. And I
And we
lost.
we don't do that here on the No Condom Podcast. We
No,
don't do that,
no,
do we, Kelly? Okay.
no,
All right.
no.
All right. I just had to throw that in there. My
Um,
bad. My bad.
so so back in 2010, April to be exact, I lost my mom. She was 54 when she passed. She had just had a birthday. And throughout my childhood up until adulthood, my mother and I never had like the best relationship. It wasn't like a typical mother-daughter relationship. And that's only because, unfortunately, my mother throughout her life um, dealt with substance abuse issues. And because of that, a lot of times I felt like I was the mom and she was the child because my mom
Mm.
was she was just wild. So, I kind of felt like I had to rein her in sometimes. But unfortunately, we got to a point in our relationship where I did not talk to her for almost 2 years. Um, we got into an argument and, she said some things that was, really hurtful. And I was like, me being me at that time, I was very petty and, held on to grudges. And so because she hurt me, I wanted to hurt her back. And so the only way I
Mm.
could think of hurting her back was not talking to her because although we didn't have the best relationship, I spoke to my mom every day. Um, so that was different. So I did, find out she was sick. I have an older sister, and she hit me up and told me, our mom was in the hospital. And, I called her and I was like, I heard you in the hospital. What's going on? So, come to find out, I think she had already been there for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah. And so, that night I went straight to the hospital. And uh, while I was there, they moved her to the ICU. So my mother, unfortunately, she was diabetic and wasn't doing her best to keep up with her health. And unfortunately, she had an accident, and from the accident, her wound became infected, and so that's why they had to move her to the ICU because she was having all these viral things happening, and they couldn't understand
Mm.
why. And um, needless to say, my mother never came out of the hospital. She died in the ICU, and yeah, that
Mm.
was extremely painful because given how our relationship was, I was still holding on to a bit of anger towards my mom because I was like, why couldn't she be the mom I wanted her to be?
Yeah.
Um, why couldn't she be the mom that I needed her to be? Um, so yeah, so that was tough.
So tell me, and again, of course, sorry for the loss, and shout out to everyone, parent, child. I heard before that, losing a parent was, it's a hard thing, but losing a child is, much worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, just want to give love to everyone. And if you got the tissue, if the tear came, let it come, let it come. That's what happens here. But I want to ask you, Kelly, how did you navigate, I guess, after the loss? Like, if you can share kind of like an immediate and then, some time after, and then kind of like where you are now.
Yeah, so mind you, my mother passed away in 2010.
So that's
This is
14,
24, so
14
this is
years.
14 years. It took me almost until 2 years ago to navigate my feelings about my mom's
Wow.
passing.
Wow.
So that's a very, very long time. 12 years. And it took me that long because I was still trying to wrap in my mind, like, why she wasn't or why she didn't try harder to be the mom that we needed her to be.
Right.
Um, and for the longest time, I didn't understand. But with going to therapy, my therapist at the time, suggested for me to write a letter to my mom about how I was feeling. And that really helped. And then too, with going to therapy, just being reminded of the fact that our parents are human too. They make mistakes. And
Yeah.
like we need help dealing with a lot of things. They need help too. So there's no difference. And so once I understood that, then it was easier for me to
Gotcha.
heal from that and to move on from that and be comfortable with the fact that, yes, my mother did have challenges. Yes, she didn't show up for my sister and I the way that we hoped. However, at the same time, she did the best that she could with what she had. And so it's like you can't fault her for that because
Right. Right.
unfortunately she didn't have the support she needed to navigate through a lot of life challenges. So yeah, so that's how that came about.
Mm.
So
Well,
Justin,
oh,
yeah.
thanks for sharing that. Is Yeah, it's heartfelt. But again, these are the conversations we having on No Condom
Mm-hmm.
Podcast, and the purpose and the pain. Like this is what it is.
Yeah. So let me ask you. So what did you learn from like navigating through the loss of Jameis and then your onset of like fibro? So like what have you learned from both of those?
Yeah, a lot. Right? Like, you know, I think you said something that I feel people who aren't healed, immature people, the lack thereof of having tools typically start with blaming
Mm,
someone. And in my situation, I do feel like fatherhood was taken from me for a second time. But I say like that's my flesh,
mhm,
right? But my reality, my higher self, is like, ain't nobody to blame. I saw the purpose in it. Kelly, I actually knew something was wrong with our baby. Um, I think he passed in March. In January, the spirit told me something was wrong. I didn't like know what it was. I wasn't sure if it was like a good thing, a bad thing, but something happened. And then because it didn't happen immediately, I was like kind of out of mind, out of sight. And then when what went down, I was like, oh snap. And I still wasn't like mad at God or, like I said, I'm still human. My flesh still like, bruh,
Right.
like this ain't the last situation, but you know what I'm saying? So just, not blaming. I knew the purpose. I knew the purpose. I still do. Like I said, it was one of the greatest things thus far that I've seen God do in my life, like
Right.
for experience. I learned even more that life is, dare I say it, everybody say it with me, too short. Um, the more that you like delay being unfulfilled, the more challenges you're gonna have in your life, the more soul ties and such as we talked about the last episode, the more pain that you're not able to go through,
Yeah.
right? So I became more fulfilled, more driven to my purpose. And honestly, I think maybe that's when I felt that like I will die for my purpose. What God has put me to do on this earth, I will die for it. Or as they say, die trying, right? Um, and then, fulfillment is more valuable than money and all this other stuff that we think is so valuable. It's so,
Yeah.
um, so it's yeah, and then I think lastly, the last thought that comes to mind is like tag this for God's glory
Yes.
is what I learned, right? It's a tough experience, but the joy that I get from talking about it, hearing other people's experiences, helping other people, learning other things about how to deal and cope. I mean, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so so look, we're gonna move into the second part of our purpose in pain heart conversation. So this is all about, you know, cultivating a new look at life, through what we've been through. Of course, everybody, as we all know, choose your thing, right? Um, so Kelly, my first question for you is, what do you take from this loss of your mom? And then like the long navigation, if you will, of getting to a place to be okay with it.
What I've taken from it is that I have to be honest with myself about my feelings. Um, and I think, like I mentioned, you have to uh, look at the situation that people are people. You can't expect people to operate like you, to treat you like you would, or I mean, like, yeah, like you would. And then also how you strive to treat others,
Right.
because everyone is different, everyone is wired different. And then also, you have to remember that, hurt people hurt people.
Mm,
So,
mm.
you know,
Yes, they do.
they do. And then also realize that a lot of things that people do that are hurtful, it's not necessarily directed to you per se. It's them lashing out, regarding something that they experienced recently, or, you know, something that someone said or something, someone did, it gives, it triggers them, it makes them have a flashback, and then you just get hit, in the crossfires because you're there. So yeah. So yeah. And then, just curious about for you, like what I'm sorry. Uh like how has your pain helped you to learn lessons and, you know, form a new perspective?
Yeah, it's so I'm a thinker. I've always been about growth, and this is the dare I say I made the choice, but I was the answer to the call to use the vehicle of music to help people grow, right? And sometimes you think that I can't learn nothing from this, like, or what am I supposed to learn from this, right? And the few times I've had that is like, bruh, that is not true. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
something always to learn. And, one thing comes to mind is just I choose to take something from it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Uh, don't get it twisted. I'm human just like anyone else. I think a lot of the same things and feel some of the same things, but I know the higher part is calling me to something. And as they say, it's building that character. And so I think particularly after this, not that I had a lack of like I don't want to do this, and I definitely felt that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
quit feelings is real.
Yes.
Um, but it's like I was like 10 toes and another one that came out of nowhere down in what I'm called to do, despite what's going on or what I'm navigating now. Like all of a sudden I'm on set with another condition, something that is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's a big thing for me. And then, trusting myself despite what anyone else said. Because I shifted. I like after this or these losses, I signed a new contract when this happened. Okay. I was killing it. I was doing my thing. I was like, all right, I'm finally feel like I'm moving up. Like I don't know, there was some different, it was a different energy. And then it was taken away. And it was like, what? Like I don't. And so this is when I really stepped out and pursued music 100%. I'm a full-time musician, right? Content creator and all these things that I do and I'm about. So it was scary, but I was like, I gotta trust myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about, as they say, my mama, my daddy, my sister, my cousin, nah, because it's too short, man. Um, and then I think, something, getting interested because God just deals with me in so many ways and just always just deeper, deeper. Sometimes I'm like, bro, come on, man. I don't need to learn nothing else. All right. Like, let me
Right.
just
God, leave
marinate
me
on what we
alone,
just
please.
learned from the last joint, right? So,
Give me a
um,
break, Jesus.
yeah. But it's like, believing something is better than this and that it's building another level of character for me and connectivity,
Yeah.
right? Like we tend to often think about the pain in it and what that's doing, but I just recognize that there's so much more going on, and I kind of marvel in it sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
especially like now when I can really talk about it because I have some hindsight. But even in the moments, I'm a bit more aware of like, man, I don't like it, but man, tag this
Yeah.
for God's glory, you know? So, so yeah, so look, again, I
Good
mean,
stuff. Good
look,
stuff.
where my tissue? Let me get my little tissue over here on my desk. Cause I feel a little settled, but I'm still like, man, this is
No, I know.
just,
I know.
you know what I mean? So as we navigate, to the next part of our heart conversation, I hope you guys are reflecting on what's happening now, what, maybe something you still haven't dealt with. Take that moment. So Kelly, real quick, I want to we're just going to take a big breath, inhale,
Yes.
and a big breath out. All right. So, and if you're driving or something, like, be careful. I don't want you to close your eyes or nothing. All right. I'm just,
Yes,
okay.
please don't do that.
But here we go. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. And breathe out. 2, 3. Yeah, as we come to a close, because this is heavy. I think I'm in a higher level of acceptance of a lot of things and just recognizing I got to continue to do what I'm called to do despite anything that's going on. God got it. God's going to help me figure it out as long as I acknowledge him and listen, despite my feelings and despite what it feels like and looks like. You know what I mean? I think that has been the space, and I can really apply it to anything in my life right now. You know what I mean? So I hope that, everyone listening, again, if you're still crying, I mean, it's all right. It is all right. Okay. I just hope everyone was able to release and to reflect on some things that obviously has changed you and you want to get better in and get through. So, we thank y'all for listening. Kelly, I thank you for sharing, um, some very personal and heavy things, right? I really do. Definitely want to shout out the team. Appreciate y'all. And again, the listeners, man, we appreciate the love, the feedback. And y'all follow us on this journey, as we go into episode 3 next week. I'm like, what? It's kind of crazy. And of course, again, look, tag this, man. If I couldn't do music no more, this is the song I want everybody to start with, right? My catalog is pretty heavy. So keep streaming, keep downloading. Appreciate the support. And we really, want to thank y'all for supporting it. Again, you can listen to the podcast, JastinArtis.com/no-condom-podcast. Kelly, where can they find you on socials?
So I'm at IG. My handle is _living like K, and that's K as in kite.
Got you. And y'all can find me, Jastin Artis. I'm the only one, right? And again, if you guys want to reach out to us by email, ncpodcast@JastinArtis.com. The last thought is always, remember to pray, reflect, and repeat.
Yes.
You are gonna see his glory in my story. 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 Like you, I was born in sin. I knew one day the pleasure would end, and I would begin a new side, a new color, the blood, and my flesh would have to die. So long to you and the harmful gestures. The wrong people I did let fester. Fighting for nothing left me no peace. Yet still I enjoyed my moment of time that left me pleased. From death to now, Destiny's on the high. She said, Jastin, your name is written across the sky. Follow directions, handle rejections, then you can receive your miracles and your blessings. Like number one holding me on Reverb Nation, I birthed something and push with the purpose. Welcome to my world now. He's the master and I'm just a puppet. Now you can open the curtains. I bow to your greatness. On the hunt I'm chasing. Got your mercy, no explaining. I stay staging, not complaining. Things around me change in the world when the truth I'm facing. Makeup, key, and beauty. This one weight drop to steady my run. The power you spoke in me, it's a ton. The bigger picture I paint, the brighter your glory I can't faint. The cool breeze, the feeling of your spirit. I'm tearing, speaking these lyrics. Everything I am came from music. That's how you used it. I can't abuse it. Sticking to the same story. I take the song for you, God, to give you all the glory. Glory. Tag this for God's 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 glory. My shirt expands, the tag says I can iron low. Starts with heart, then already I'm set. Let's go, separate the parts, worship God from the start. How do you see it? Praise for show? No, I raise my hands cause I know He gave me a measure. I counted in to receive His treasures. The next place in this race, it's a new realm with glory. Fit for the journey, stickers hit the road in the story. I tag this for God's glory, for His glory.